If you're anything like the rest of us, you're long shares of your favorite companies that are still underwater from the bath they took during the bear market of the first half of 2022. Even through this most recent market bounce, the market is still down over 10% for this calendar year. I'm Seth Froyberg, the head trader of SMB Capital's options trading desk here in Manhattan, and the pro traders on our desk are faced with this kind of situation all of the time on many of their swing positions. In today's video, we're going to be sharing with you a way to make money while you wait for shares of stocks that have gotten massacred to recover. It's a strategy that should come in very handy right about now, as you'll see in a minute, so stick around. Hi, I'm Seth Froyberg, and I'm the head trader of SMB Capital's options trading desk. SMB Capital is a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan, and we provide capital for options and equity traders from all over the world, trading both remotely and in our offices here in New York City. Now, I'd like to suggest that you click on our subscribe button right now so that you don't miss any of our free trading videos that we produce for traders and investors all over the world. They're really very valuable. Okay, so as you are no doubt aware, the market was really bearish in the first half of 2022 and then began to bounce in mid-June, recovering a little more than half of what it gave up in the first half of the year by mid-August, as you can see from this chart of the S&P 500 index. And so naturally, most traders and investors are long shares of stock that they bought near the all-time highs of late last year and are now currently underwater. And most people in this position are just hoping to get back to at least break even on those shares before closing those positions. But given how much the market ran up in 2021, that could take a while. And it's frustrating to sit around and have your account running at a deficit from its all-time highs. But what if you could find a way to get paid by the market during the process of your shares recovering? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. But before we dig into the details of that strategy, I wanted to mention that if you're interested in learning 3 more option strategies that our pro traders use, including the unique options trick that allows you to make money while you wait to buy stocks or ETFs at the price you want, or the options income strategy that allows you to make consistent money whether the market goes up, down, or sideways, and how to make money on a stock or index trade even if you're outright wrong on direction, then click the link that should be appearing now at the top right corner of your screen. That will open the free workshop registration page in a new window, so don't worry, you won't lose this video. Or you can register directly for free at optionsclass.com. Believe me, you don't want to miss this, so pause the video, sign up now, and then resume watching. The strategy that I'm going to be teaching you today involves the SPY stock options, and I realize that most of you know something about how stock options work, but just for a quick review, and this is going to be fast, what's known as a call option on a stock entitles the buyer of that option to purchase 100 shares of that stock at a certain price called the strike price of that option, regardless of what price the stock is actually trading at any time before that option expires. What's called a put option, on the other hand, entitles the buyer of that to sell 100 shares of a stock he owns at the strike price of that put, again, regardless of what price the stock is trading at any time before the option expires. The buyer of the option pays what's called a premium to the seller of the option because the seller of the option is taking the risk that the stock will go way past the strike price of the option, in which case the buyer can exercise his option. So in the case of a call, even if the stock's going way above the strike price of the call buyer can exercise his right to buy 100 shares at that strike price, paying way below market. Or conversely, on the put option, even if the market goes way below the strike price of the put, the buyer of that put option has the right to sell his shares of that stock at the strike price of the put option that he's bought, even if the stock price has gone way below the price of the put. Now, on the other hand, at expiration, if you've sold a call and the market closes below the strike price of the call, then unless that call was previously exercised, that call expires worthless and the call seller just pockets the premium. Similarly, if you've sold a put and the market closes above the strike price of that put, then unless the put was previously exercised, it expires worthless and the call seller just pockets the premium. Okay, so with that said, let's head back to the first trading day of 2020, right before the pandemic started, to show you how this can play out. And as you can see, the market has come off an extremely strong 2019, up 30%. And so naturally, the SPY was up 30% that year as well, as it represents a basket of stocks comprising the S&P 500 index. So let's say on that first day, a trader had gone ahead and bought 100 shares of SPY, which, as you can see from the calculation, would have cost him $32,400. Okay, so now after that, we all know what happened. And with COVID-19 spreading like wildfire throughout the world economy was pretty much shut down because it caused a crash, which started in the latter part of February. Well, about a month later, after a brutal stretch where SPY lost more than 35% of its value in a little over a month, at one point trading for 218 at its trough, in which case the shares would have been down over $10,000, incidentally. Now at that point, many traders are thinking, hey, if I can get out of this at either break even or a small profit, I'll take it. And so he determines at that point that if the SPY gets back a little bit over his original entry price of 324, he'll sell the position and consider himself lucky. But he knows a little bit about options trading, and so he takes this one step further. And so on April 13th, late in the afternoon, with SPY trading at around 275, let's say that the trader went out to an options chain about 6 months out, the September options chain, and sold what options traders refer to as a short strangle, where you sell a call where the strike price is above where the stock is trading, and you sell a put at a strike price below where the stock is trading. Well, in this case, as you can see, the trader sold a strangle such that the call he sold is up at 330, which is about 6 points above the strike price where he originally brought the shares back in the beginning of 2020 before the crash. And he went ahead and sold the put at 220, which is below the lowest close during the worst part of the crash, where the SPY actually closed at 222 on March 23rd. We'll get into why he chose those strikes a little bit later, but in the meantime, let's analyze the cash flow implications of having sold the strangle at this point. As you can see, we sold the short call up at 330 for $2.38. And remember, each options contract represents 100 shares of SPY stock. So you multiply that by 100, which results in total cash flow of $238 for selling that call. And with that same kind of calculation, the put, which also pertains to 100 shares of SPY stock, which we sold for $9.08, that brings in $908 of cash flow, resulting in total positive cash flow of $11.46. Okay, so now let's move to August 4th of that year. And as you can see, the market has bounced dramatically and is now trading back near its all-time highs. And so at this point, a certain number of traders are going to bail out for a small win, snatching victory from literally the jaws of defeat, which, as you can see, is a modest win of $600 when the trade at the market's trough was actually down over $10,000 at one point. But now let's consider the case where instead of exiting for a small gain as soon as the market hits that price point, we simply allow the short strangle to expire. The outcome is interesting. And so let's move to September 30th, the day that our short strangle expired. And as you can see, SPY closed at 334.87, having sold off from its all-time highs, which they hit earlier that month. And so let's break down how your broker would have settled this trade. And as you can see, the short call expired in the money because the SPY closed at 334.87, but the strike price of the call was 330. So the guy who owns that call is going to exercise it, and he will be buying the shares at a discount to where they are trading in the market at 330. And the short put down at 220, well, that one expires worthless, obviously, because puts are only exercised when you can sell your shares at a higher price than you can fetch in the open market. But your shares are over 334, so you're obviously not going to exercise that 220 put option, and so that one expires worthless. And so as you can see from the calculation, you'd receive $33,000 for selling the shares, and you add in the $11.46 cash you received for selling the strangle, and you subtract out the $32,400 that you originally paid for those shares. And as you can see, you would have made $1,746 in total, which is nearly 3 times what you would have made simply selling the shares at 330 and making $600. And so what I'd like you to take away from today's video is that in a market like this, there are a lot of traders and investors who are sitting on unrealized losses on equities that they bought near the market highs back in the beginning of January or late December. And those traders can employ the short strangle in such a way that if the market continues rallying, you'll be able to get out of your shares at a profit and could substantially increase your profit through the premium you received for selling the short strangle. Now, on the other hand, if the market sells off back down to where your short put is, you would be required to buy the shares at that price. But that's at the very bottom of where the market has been for years, and so very likely is a great price to buy those shares in the long run, which might actually give the traders a tremendous opportunity for a large gain getting in that cheap. So that's a good thing. And then finally, the intermediary case of where the market doesn't rally enough to trigger the exercise of the call, nor does it sell off low enough to trigger the put, in which case you would just pick up, in this example, over $1,000 of profit from the premium you received by selling the strangle in the case where both options expire worthless, which is going to happen a lot. And that's what I mean by the market paying you to wait for your stock to recover. Professional options traders understand these kinds of opportunities when they arise, and now you've got the knowledge to employ them to your advantage as well. Now, just to remind you, if you're serious about your trading, you need to check out the free intensive options class that we're currently running, where you'll learn 3 real-world option strategies that our professional options traders use all the time. Just click the link that should be appearing now at the top right corner of your screen, or you could just head on over to optionsclass.com to register for this free workshop directly. It really is a rare opportunity for retail traders and investors to learn directly from Wall Street traders, but that's exactly what you're going to be getting through this free online workshop. So click the link to sign up now before you miss it.